So I just wanted to show you first a snowflake, even though I know you all know what a snowflake looks like, right? But for our breathing at the beginning, I want you to picture a snowflake that is as big as this one that can land on your finger, okay? So now I'm gonna go back to my mat. And we get ready. So sit in easy pose. So you crisscross applesauce your legs, and then you take out the big yoga glue stick. Take it out and put the glue on your hands like this. And do a lot of it. Put a lot of glue on your hands. And then you rub your hands together like this. And put the glue everywhere on your hands. And then you put the glue on the bottom. And then you wiggle the bottom down, that you sit really tight on your yoga mat. And then imagine there's a string attached to the top of your head, and you are getting pulled all the way up to the ceiling. So you sit really, really tall. You want to try that one more time? Slouch. And then imagine that string attached, pulling you all the way up. There you go. And then for our breathing exercise, first, I would like you to put both hands onto your belly. And just for a moment, breathe into your hands, into your belly. So take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale out through the nose. And again, inhale. Breathe into the belly and make that belly really big, and then exhale out again. And then I would like you to put your fingers together like this and put your pointer fingers, your index fingers, all the way up. And then I would like you to imagine that there are the most beautiful snowflakes are up in the sky, and they are coming down to earth. And there is one big snowflake, and you're going to catch that snowflake with your fingers. So reach all the way up, catch that big, big snowflake, and it's landing right on your fingers. So take a deep breath in and make that snowflake spin when you blow the air out. One more time. Catch a big snowflake all the way up in the sky. And when it's landing on your finger, come all the way down and make the snowflake spin. Oh, I can see it spinning. Very good. All right. So let's start with our stories. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. Are you ready? Yes. All right. So our story starts, of course, with once upon a time. Once upon a time, there was a widow, and she had two daughters. One was kind and caring, and the other one was lazy and mean. But because the lazy and mean one was her real daughter, the mother liked that one much, much better. Now, one morning, very early in the morning, the lazy daughter was lying in bed. Stretch out your legs all the way in front and lie down on your mat. Stretch your legs out and get very comfy. And she was lying in bed, sleeping, still sleeping, even though it was time to get up. The sun was out, shining through the window, tickling her nose, but she would not get up. She would wiggle her toes. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. She would not get up. Then she would maybe bend her knees and she would move them from one side, move them to the side, and then to the other side. But she would not get up. Then she would stretch her arms all the way up, but she would not get up. And then she would turn her head from one side all the way to the other side, but she still would not get up. Now bring your knees into your chest and rock gently from side to side, but she still would not get up. But then she heard the other daughter in the kitchen. Now lean onto the side and come up into a seated position. Now cross your legs again like we did at the beginning. In the kitchen, the kind and hard-working daughter was already preparing breakfast. Now she would turn to one side and she would get the bowls onto the table for breakfast. Now turn to the other side and get all the spoons onto the table. And then she would lean over and she would get the big pot out of the shelf. And now put that big pot onto the oven. Lean forward. Yes, very good. I can see you guys. And then she would lean over to the other side and she would get the milk out of the shell. And she put the milk into the pot. And then she would stir the porridge. Stir the porridge with me. Big circles. It's a big pot of porridge and it smells delicious. Now turn the other way. Yeah, very good stir. And then lean back with your hands and just switch your legs the other way around. And then she would get the sugar out of the shelf and put it on the table. Then she would get the cinnamon and she would put that on the table. Oh, it smelled delicious. When the lazy daughter in the bed smelled that delicious smell, she jumped out of bed. Let's jump out of bed. Come onto your feet, right? Hands right in the middle, and after 3, we jump out of bed. 1, 2, 3, jump. Yes, good jumpers. Let's do that again. That was fun. 1, 2, 3, jump. Yeah, awesome. So they were sitting on the table and she would lean over and she would smell it. Put your hands onto your knees, lean forward and smell that beautiful porridge. Oh, delicious. So she would get her spoon, get your spoon ready, and she would eat her porridge. Maybe stir it a little bit because it's really hot right now. Very good. And then switch to the other foot and stir the porridge the other way. Very good. Now stretch your legs all the way out and then lean forward and eat your porridge. When you look up from eating your porridge, can you wiggle your toes? Can you look at your toes and wiggle them? Very good. Now keep eating your porridge. Oh, that was so yummy. Now rub your belly one way and you can tap your head at the same time. Yeah. And then the other side. Rub the belly and tap the head. Oh, wow. You know what the lazy daughter did right after breakfast? She didn't clean the table. She didn't help in the kitchen. She went right to bed. So let's make a bed pose. So put your feet right in front of you Put the hands behind you and then lift your hips all the way up and make a big bed. She went right to bed and she put the blanket right over her head, and only her big toe was looking out of the bed. The other daughter would do all the housework. She would feed the dog. Let's come into dog pose. So come on to hands and knees. Oh, wow, I can see you doing it already. Hands and knees, tuck the toes under and lift your hips up high. And if you like, you can make a dog sound like, oh, and then she would milk the cows. So come in cow pose. So drop the belly down, lift your head, and you can say moo if you like. And then she would feed the cat in the barn. Lift all the way up. Come back into cow pose. Moo. And into cat pose. But then, after all the hard work was done, and she thought she could sit down and she could rest for a little, her stepmother, who did not like her very much, said to her, "What? You want to be lazy and do nothing and lie around while my poor daughter is resting in bed? You can't do that. You go out to the well and you go spinning and weaving. So let's do a spinning wheel. Lie on your back again." And she was very good at that. So make the spinning wheel like this, right? That's the spinning wheel. So she took her spinning wheel under her arm and she went out to the well and she was spinning. Maybe go the other way. Whoa. And put your feet back down. But it was very cold. Sit back up. It was very cold and her hands got very stiff. Shake your hands and then make them like magic hands, like this. Yes. Shake the hands again. They were very stiff from working. So she got very thirsty as well. So she took this spindle and she went to the well. Now we make a big well. Put your feet together like this. Soles of the feet together, right? And then we lean forward because we want to drink some water out of the well. So lean forward and there's a big bucket and it's filled with water and you can drink some water. Lean all the way forward and then come slowly up. But oh no, her fingers were so stiff that the spindle fell all the way down into the well. Oh no, she got so upset and so scared because now she had to go home to her stepmother and tell her what happened. So let's come up and we are running to the house together, all right? So stand up and start running. Go really, really fast. Really fast. She came to the house. Let's come into house pose. Like this. Yes. And she opened the door. And her stepmother looked out and the girl said, "I'm so sorry, but my fingers were so cold from working on the wheel. The spindle fell all the way down into the well." "Oh," said the stepmother, "what? If you lost the spindle, then you better go down and get it back. Before you get the spindle out, do not come back home." Oh no, and with that she closed the door. The poor girl went all the way to the well. And because she did not know what to do, she started climbing down that big dog well. Now let's start climbing, okay? So we lift one foot and we stretch the arm out. There were lots of stones that she could hold onto. Lift your knees up high. We are climbing and climbing. It took her such a long time, but she still couldn't feel the bottom. She did not know. She could not see anything. It got darker and darker until she looked down and she could see a light coming. A light down in the well in all that darkness. So she kept climbing down. And suddenly she felt solid ground under her feet. So she was so surprised that she let go of the stones and the well disappeared. She looked around. She could not believe her eyes. Now, rub your hands like this and put them over your eyes because she could see a beautiful silver landscape with no sky, with no sun and with no moon in the sky, but the sky was glowing in the most beautiful silver color. Oh, where am I? She thought. And where is my spindle? So she kept walking through that beautiful landscape. She saw big mountains. Come with me into a mountain pose. Be a big silver mountain, still and solid. And she saw white birds flying through the sky. Can you do white birds? Yes. Maybe can you do them on one leg? Oh, yes, you can. And can you do them maybe on the other side? Big white birds. Whoa, she kept walking. There was a path through a beautiful field of silver and white flowers. And suddenly she saw this beautiful apple tree. He was shimmering as well in nice silvery colors. So stand on one foot and then put the other foot right on top of your standing foot, right? And then put your hands in front of your chest and stretch your arms all the way up into that beautiful silver sky. Now, imagine roots are growing out of your foot down into the earth, and your silver branches are stretched out towards that silver sky. Oh, she thought, what a beautiful tree. But suddenly she could hear a voice. The voice was coming from the tree. Put your hands in front of your chest and change your feet. Now put the other foot down and lift the other foot and put it on top of it. Yes? And then again, imagine the roots growing out down into the ground, and your branches are growing up to the sky. And the voice of the apple tree said, please, please, shake my branches, pick the apples, they're all ripe. Oh, she got a little bit of a fright, but she was kind, hardworking, and caring. So she said, okay, I will pick all the apples. So she picked all the apples, open up your feet wide, and then she picked up the apples all the way from the ground branches first. So put your hands onto the side, lower down, put one hand onto the floor and then the other, and lift your arm all the way up towards the sky and pick the apples there. And then lower back down and lift the other arm all the way up and pick the apples up from the sky there, from the branches there. Put your hands back onto your feet and lift, lift, lift up. Then she climbed all the way up into the highest branches and she was picking up all the apples there. Open up your feet wide and stretch the arms out wide. Stretch them up high into the sky and get all the apples. And she put all the apples onto a basket. Let's do a little bit of bow pose like we just talked about, right? So come onto the belly and then just put one arm right in front of you and the other arm reaches back to your foot. And then you put the foot, push the foot away. And she put them into a pile and then into the basket, right? And then switch the arms. So the hand goes in front of you and then you hold on to your other foot and you push the foot into your hands. Just one leg. Very good. And then stretch the arms out, put your hands underneath it, and come back into crisscross applesauce. She was so tired after that, but all the apples were in a pile and neatly in her basket. And she said, thank you very much for all those beautiful apples. And she kept walking. She could see all these magical animals. There was a snow fox. So come onto hands and knees and you come into downward dog pose. So tuck your toes under, lift your hips up high, and then make a wide bushy tail with one leg. And then lower it down and lift the other leg up and bend the knee and make a bushy tail here with that one too. And then bend your knees and come back down. And she kept walking because she was looking everywhere for her spindle until she came to a clearing. It was beautiful, silver flowers, silver grass everywhere. And right in the middle stood a big brick oven. What? A big brick oven right here? So now make a big oven. Come into table pose like that, right? And the oven said, please, please, bake the bread. Take the bread out of the oven. It's all baked through. It's going to burn to cinder if you don't have my bread loaves. Said the girl, no problem. I will help you. So she opened the big oven doors and stretched one leg and one arm out, and she reached into that oven with a big ladle, and she got out all the loaves of bread stretched out. Yes, and then the other side stretch out. Guys, you look fantastic. Very good. That's a wobbly pose, and you're not even wobbling. And then one more time, stretch out, get that bread, and then one more time, stretch out on the other side and get the bread. Oh, she was getting tired, and she had a basket with apples and a basket with bread. She said, thank you so much, oven, for that beautiful bread, and it smelled delicious. So then she kept walking. Let's start walking again. And she looked around for her spindle, but she couldn't find it anywhere. But again, she saw beautiful, beautiful animals come onto your knees. She saw a snow owl. Lift your arms all the way up and make big snow owl wings. Yes, very pretty, those snow owls, right? And then she saw a white deer. Now, again, we stretch our legs out right in front, just like that. Maybe wiggle with your toes again. And then bend one knee into your chest and put that foot over on the other side. Can you do that? Very good. And then wrap your arm around that knee and look over the other side. The deer was looking around if there was any danger. All right, and then stretch that leg back out, bend that knee, and bring it over to the other side. Wrap your arm around and look over your other shoulder. Put your hand behind you and look all the way back. Oh, that was a pretty white deer as well. And the girl kept walking until she saw a very pretty house. So come all the way up and open up those legs and then turn your feet out. And then we bend the knees and lift our arms like this. It was the prettiest house she had seen in a long, long time. And out of the window, now come back onto your knees and we open the window together. Hold onto your elbows and lift your arms over your head. Out of the window looked an old woman. put your arms to the side. But because the woman had such big teeth, the girl was scared. And she wrapped her arms around herself. Stretched your arms to the side and wrapped them around yourself again. But the woman had very, very kind eyes and a very friendly smile. And she said, "Hello, who are you and why have you come to my house?" And the girl said, "I have been looking for my spindle everywhere, but I can't find it." And the woman said, "If you like, you can come and stay with me. You have to light a fire and cook some food and clean my house. But if you do all that, then you can stay with me." And the girl thought about that and she thought, this woman sounds very nice. So she decided she would stay with her. And the most magical thing was that after all the work was done, Mother Winter told her to go upstairs into the bedrooms and take out the big feather beds. Now let's go up into the bedroom and take those big feather beds out. We go up and up and up and a little up. And then we take those feather beds out of the bed. Now put your hands onto your hips and lean forward and put your hands onto your knees. Yes, very good. And now take the feather beds out. So maybe can you touch the floor? And we take out the feather beds. Bend your knees. And we put them out the window. Put your hands onto your legs like this. And when you put them out, the feather beds out of the window, you are shaking those feather beds. And you are doing this. 1, 2, 3. And again. 1, 2, 3. Stand up tall. The feathers were flying everywhere. Maybe make some feathers flying like this with your fingers. They were flying everywhere, and then maybe twirl them around your body like this if you like. And Mother Winter told her that if she shakes those beds very hard, it snows on Earth. So let's do that again. Bend your knees. Make sure it snows on Earth. 1, yes, 2, 3, and again. 1, 2, 3. You guys are very good. There was so much snow down on Earth, and the kids were so happy about it. They were dancing around in the snow, dance around with me. Yay! Snow, finally. They were waiting so long. Now, they thought, let's make a snowman, right? So sit down. And what do we need for a snowman? We need 3 big round snowballs. So hold on to your knees and roll back. And let's make those big round snowballs. And one more time. Yay! Let's do one more time, right? This is the best. All right, so now the biggest snowball goes all the way on top, right? So open up the feet, bend your knees again. That's the biggest snowball. Then the other one goes right on top, right? And then we make the head. Put the head all on top. Yes. Beautiful, girls. Pose again. Yes. And then stand back up. They built snowmen everywhere. And then they started snowboarding. So 1 foot in front, 1 in the back, and I'm sure you know that pose. Bend your knees, lift your arms, and we go snowboarding. Yay! Very good. Now, straighten the front knee, put the hands onto your hips, turn around, turn the other foot out, bend that knee, lift your arms, and snowboarding. Yes, you can make a sound. Make a sound like, yay! Right. What else did you do? Somebody told me before you like to make snow angels. Let's lie down and make a snow angel. I'm sure you know how to do those. So they Stretch your arms, or no, to the side, and then lift, or no, move your legs and move your arms and make a beautiful snow angel. And then bring the knees into your chest, sit up again, and they went sledding. So sledding is a little bit like boat pose, I think. So lift up one leg, lift up two legs, lift up one hand and then the other, and we go sledding down the hill. Whoa! Yay! And then sit back up. They had so much fun. And the girl loved being with Mother Winter. She thought it was the most magical place, and she was right. And one day, she was looking out down on Earth, and she saw all her friends in the snow playing. And she went to Mother Winter and she said, "You have been so good to me and so kind, and I lived such a happy life here with you, but I am homesick. I would love to go back home." Mother Winter was a little bit sad because she really liked the girl. But she said, "Of course you can go back home. I completely understand that you miss your home. But I will reward you for all the great work you have done. You have been so kind. Let me give you a reward. So I walk you all the way, no, half the way down to your well. And here, oh yeah, sit down. I forgot something. Sit down on your knees." And she gave her the spindle bag that she was looking a while ago for. And the spindle was very heavy because it was made now out of pure gold. Oh, whoa. It was so heavy and it was beautiful. And they kept walking, and then the girl saw the most beautiful gate. The gate was glittering in the sun and it was covered with silver flowers. Stretch out one leg to the side, put your hand on it, and out of nowhere, as if by magic, the gate opened. Open your gate. Wow. Yes. You are fantastic gate openers. That's awesome. And the girl stood underneath it and she looked up and gold was raining down on her. Like make gold with your fingers raining down. It was pitter-pattering on her face and on her arms and all the way on her clothes. It was everywhere and she looked beautiful. "Thank you, Mother Winter," she said. "Stretch your upper leg out, put your hand onto the leg, and close the gate." Yay, very good. And then she kept walking back up. She passed the oven. She passed the beautiful apple tree. And in the fall, she saw the well. And when she came to the well, she started climbing up again all the way until she saw the light coming. And she jumped out of the well, go all the way down, and we jump out of the well. 1, 2, 3. Oh, she was standing in her village, and she knew all the houses. But the first one who saw her was the rooster. He was just getting up to wake up all the neighborhood. So hold on to your foot and then lift up one arm and say really loud, "Cock-a-doodle-doo! Cock-a-doodle-doo! Your golden daughter has come back to you." Switch to the other side. Say it again. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Cock-a-doodle-doo! And put the foot back down. Oh, from everywhere came the neighbors, and they looked at her and they could not recognize her. She looked so beautiful. Sit back down. Now, her stepmother and the daughter came out of the house, and the stepmother and the daughter looked at her and they thought, where did she get all that gold? And they tried to take it from her. They tried to take it from her arms, take it from her legs, but they couldn't take it off. It was stuck on her. So she said, where did you get that? And the girl told him everything about the well, about Mother Winter and all her adventures. And the stepmother said to her daughter, you go down that well right now. Take that spindle and jump down. Oh, the stepdaughter thought, oh no, and make a well and put your feet together and look down that well. Oh, I don't want to jump down there. That looks like work and I could hurt myself. I don't want to go down there. But the stepmother said, you better go down there. If you want that gold, you better do what I tell you. Okay. She started climbing down that well. She was holding on to those stones. And as well, suddenly, after climbing a long, long time, she could feel solid ground again. And the well disappeared again. And the girl saw the same beautiful landscape around, all the silver trees and the silver animals and the silver sky. But she did not care. And she kept walking, looking for the spindle, right? She couldn't find the spindle either. And she came to that beautiful apple tree. Put your hands into your hips and let's come into that apple tree pose again. Stretch your arms all the way up. And the apple tree was calling her and said, help me, please. My apples are all ripe. Please shake us so that the apples can fall down. Put your hands into your hips and switch over to the other side. Feel those roots growing down. Lift your arms all the way up, stretch up into the sky. And she stood beside the apple tree and she looked at it and she said, why would I do that? An apple could fall onto my head. And this looks like way too much work for me. So she kept walking. The apple tree was very sad, but the girl did not care about that. And it didn't take a long time until she came to the big old brick oven. And the oven, she could hear voices inside. The bread was ready to be taken out. Please, please take us out before we burn to cinder. And almost ready, the girl thought, no, I'm not going to do that. Sit back down, crisscross applesauce. I could burn my gentle fingers. I could start sweating. I could hurt my back. I'm not doing that. So she kept walking past the big brick oven until she came to that beautiful house. Let's make the house pose a little bit different. Lift up the arms just like that and make that big pretty roof. And out of the window looked that woman again. So hold onto your elbows again and lift your arms. Now, that girl was not scared of that woman. She knew exactly who she was. She said, hey, Mother Winter, let me in. I want that gold. What gold? Mother Winter said, there's no gold here. Ah, thought the girl, okay, just let me in. And she went in and she had the same task to do than the other girl. Light the fire, clean the house, and go upstairs and open the window and shake those beds. So she went upstairs and she lifted the bed out of the blankets and the pillows out of the bed and put them out over the window. And she was supposed to shake the beds, but she didn't. She just did that. Can you do that? She didn't really do anything. She was too lazy and she thought, I am so tired just thinking about this work. I'm going to lie down in that beautiful bed. And she took the covers and she would lie down in the bed, and the only thing you could see were her toes. The toes were wiggling, but she wouldn't get out of bed. She would bend the knees from side to side, but she wouldn't get out of bed. She would shake her head from side to side, but she wouldn't get out of bed. And then that went on all day long. And the kids down on earth, the children, they didn't have any snow. They couldn't go sledding. They couldn't go snowboarding. They could not have a snowball fight. And they were so sad about that. It was winter and there was no snow. So that morning, the next morning, Mother Winter said to the girl, I am not pleased with you. You did not do well. And you can go home. Said the girl, yes, I can go home now. I get all the gold. So she went out. She was running. She wasn't even waiting for Mother Winter. She was running to the gate. Let's make that gate. The gate looked as pretty as the first time. Stretch your leg out. Put your hand onto the leg. Lift your arm all the way up. And open the gate. Yes, I can see you. You look fantastic. And slowly come back. The girl stood underneath it, maybe stood down for a moment. She looked up and she was thinking, yes, now I get the gold. But no, there was pitch falling on her, black, sticky pitch, and it stuck on her hair, and it stuck on her face, and on her arms, and on her legs, and on her clothes, and everywhere. Oh, that is not gold, she said to Mother Winter. And Mother Winter said, yes, it's not. This is what you get for being lazy. Oh, and then the gate closed. There was no way back. Stretch the other leg out. Put the hand onto your arm. Lift your arm all the way up and close that gate. And slowly come back. The girl walked past the old brick oven and she was very, very sad. And she walked by the apple tree and she was still very, very sad. And then she started climbing up the well, started climbing up. And she saw the light coming close and she got very embarrassed. Now everybody will see all the pitch on me, all the blackness, all the gooiness, all the ugliness. And she jumped out of the well as well. Come all the way down. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! And there was the rooster. Put your hands onto your hips and just walk over to the well. You can move your arms a little bit, right? And he saw the girl, all black, coming out or sitting by the well. And he said, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo, your lazy daughter has come back to you. Oh, the neighbors came running out of the house and they looked at her and they thought, oh, what happened to her? And the stepmother came out and she saw her daughter and she thought, what happened to you? So that pitch was stuck on her. She tried to wash it off. She tried to get it off from her hair, from her face, but it did not get off. It did not get off for a long, long time until she mended her ways, her lazy ways, and she became kind and hardworking, and then the pitch disappeared from her clothes. And then the stepmother saw that kindness is golden, and she started loving the other daughter as well as her own. And then they lived very happy together. All right, that was the story of Mother Winter. So now we are going to do a little snowflake meditation. So if you're ready, lie on your back and make yourself comfortable. So if you have a blanket, I have a blanket here, you can cover yourself with the blanket, right? You did so well, I could see that. So now maybe lie down and get really, really comfy. And if you don't want anything under or on top of you, you can use that same blanket and make it as a pillow, right? So now lie down and close your eyes. Maybe wiggle a little bit your hands and your feet and maybe your head, and take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out with a sigh. And then imagine the sun is shining, but there are snowflakes falling from the sky, magical snowflakes. And one of the snowflakes is landing on your left foot. And the sun is melting that snowflake. And as the snowflake melts, your foot is relaxing and becoming warm and relaxed. And then there's another snowflake landing on your right foot. And the sun, nice and warm, is melting that snowflake. And as the snowflake melts, all the tension in your right foot melts and it becomes warm and relaxing. And that warm and relaxing feeling is going through your legs, all the way to the knees and to your hips. And then a snowflake is landing on your left hand. And the sun is melting that snowflake. And your left hand becomes nice, warm, heavy, and very relaxed. The same thing is happening to your right hand. The snowflake is landing on your right hand. And the sun is melting that snowflake. And your right hand becomes warm and relaxed. And then that warmth and relaxation is wandering up your whole arm and all the way up to the shoulder.
Plan to help reduce maternal and infant mortality. Rachel Jack of experts at Rachel.
And then a snowflake is landing on your forehead. And the sun is melting that snowflake. And suddenly your whole body feels warm and heavy and relaxed. And all the tension you could feel in your body is melting like a snowflake is melting in the sunshine. And then you can start wiggling your fingers and your toes. You can bend one knee and then the other. And you can lie on your side for a moment and then come up and come into a seated position. And then we put the hands in front of our chest. And after 3, we say Namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste.